speed. He didn't have anything that you would look at. That's why he was drafted in the 7th round.
Right.
But he understood the game of football. And maybe it was because he was a quarterback in college and he had that perspective. But watching him play was one of the most enjoyable things because he was able to find those little nooks and crannies in the defense.
He was a perfect Patriot because, Welker was before him.
Yep.
Now, I think maybe in regular season games, Welker was a little better, but obviously Edelman was better in the playoffs. And even before Welker a little bit, you think about it, Troy Brown was a kind of a possession receiver too, right?
Yes. Very much.
Yeah.
And those role players, that's what made New England so unique, is that they were able to find all of these role players to fit a certain role. And when they didn't fit that role anymore, they were moved on and they found another role player. And Julian Edelman was a role player in the fact that, especially in key moments, and it happened in Super Bowls, it happened against Atlanta, it happened against the Seahawks, there were just many times you could look and say, against the Rams, like he was the only individual on the offense that could get anything going in that game. He had those big moments that we remember, but just not enough in the regular season to really even qualify. And here's another one for you. For all of the discussion of Julian Edelman, never made a Pro Bowl.
I know. What I said, no Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
No.
He's a great player. Everything you said, John's true. He's an example for the kids out there of what hard work and just paying attention and learning the game can do for you. Like, he took that to the highest point that you can.
Well, let me ask you a question, okay? If people who, I don't know, looking at the playoffs as obviously more important than the regular season, because the playoffs is the only reason that Eli Manning's getting any consideration, right?
Yes.
So they're basically the same with different positions now.
Yeah, but I think there's something different for a quarterback that wins a couple Super Bowls.
Right.
Yeah, and
I don't think
that argument for me is that, when you go to winning in playoffs, that's what got some of the Yankees in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
True.
It's gotten players in the Hall of Fame all across the board in every sport. And I will say this, Eli got in on a couple plays. He got in on the Tyree play, which was just as good of a play by him as it was Tyree.
Mm-hmm.
And then also
the Manningham
catch. And my big one with Isaac Bruce, and he got elected last year, John. So they didn't have the ceremony because of COVID, but he is going to get in. And he should, because his stats are just so overwhelming. But the X factor for him was he made the play in the Super Bowl. When the Titans came back and tied that game 16-all, he got open on the Kurt Warner bomb. It's like that Super Bowl, that greatest fourth quarter ever, and the Rams were shaking. And basically, Bruce just said, "Oh yeah, watch this," and go 79 yards for a touchdown ball game. But that would be the reason to put him in. Edelman, and he had that play. People forget about the play in the Atlanta game sometimes, man. That catch was sick.
I know, man. They're going to replay it. Look at it from every different angle. It's great.
They don't win a Super Bowl. He doesn't make that play.
And just because we don't think, or we're having the discussion that Julian Edelman, whether he is in or not into the Hall of Fame, we've had this with Phillip Rivers, whether he deserves to go in or not. It's not a disrespect conversation. They had tremendous careers. They accomplished so much. And there's no disrespect in not getting into the NFL Hall of Fame.
They're like the opposite. One was great in the regular season, and one didn't have a lot of playoff success. By the way, you can vote on our Twitter poll. Stoney and Jansen with Heather up on Twitter. Is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
Stoney, you'll like this super quick. Isaac Bruce, he played for the Niners one year.
Oh, really?
That's one of those guys.
Did he sign? Did he get traded the Rams?
Starting route to W7 Mile Road at Inkster Road. In 1.3 miles, turn right onto Hitler Road.
Guys, social media is putting Usher on blast for handing out some fake bills at a strip club. But is the story true, or is it just fake news? I'll tell you coming up next.
All right, 97 on the ticket.
One of the cool things about sports betting is that you can bet on anything at almost any time, like a year in advance. And the 2022 odds for the Masters are already out. And it's a great time to bet on sports right now. We've got all kinds of action. And
Stay in the middle
BetMGM is the place
lane.
to go for that action. Sign up using bonus code TOMM600 and your first wager is risk-free up also get access to the best parlay selection features, live betting options, tons of player props, and daily specials. Baseball's back in full swing, and the playoff races are heating up in basketball and hockey. Whether you love strikeouts or slam dunks, you can bet confidently on all the big games at the king of sportsbooks. Simply download the BetMGM app. Go to BetMGM.com and enter bonus code TOMM600 to get back up to $600 on your first wager. Grab your piece of the
At
action
the next
and take your
light,
sports
turn
betting
right.
to the next level with BetMGM. New customer offer, paid and free bets. Must be 21 years or older, Michigan only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Expert Heating and Cooling. As you head into the I-75 work zone, there's an accident northbound near the Davison block in the right shoulder and adding to slowdowns near Kniff. Southbound 75
At the
is
light,
over Maple
turn right
12
onto
mile.
Hitler
The
Road.
Deco route you can trust is to use Woodward to get around it. Also, road work is coming up today, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 96 eastbound ramp to northbound M5 scheduled to close.
In
I'm Michelle
2.5
Pena with
miles,
traffic.
turn left onto Old
The
Return
Detroit
Trail.
Pistons host the Los Angeles Clippers. Pre-game tomorrow night at 7:35 on News Radio 950 WWJ.
This is Mark Angelotti, owner of Expert Heating and Cooling. We have the best quality and the lowest price, period. Call 844-EXPERT and the number 1. That's 844-EXPERT and the number 1.
Applied Imaging customer Kristen Vandebussy, contract management supervisor at ADAC Automotive, had a paper problem.
So we had entire file cabinets, we had a file room, we had off-site storage for filing, and we just knew that that wasn't going to be where we wanted to be in the future.
You trusted Applied Imaging's expertise and culture.
Well, I think they have a good diverse group at Applied Imaging, which includes men and women and people who are in different areas of specialty. And I think that's important in a tech company that they have promoted women and that women are visible.
How has ADAC benefited from Applied Imaging's partnership?
I would say they're problem solvers. Applied Imaging has helped us to save money and time, so it's a double win in my opinion.
Applied Imaging. Call today and challenge their experts to solve your problems. Call 800-521-0983 or visit appliedimaging.com. Applied Imaging. Fast, friendly, amazing.
Find yourself among towering trees that rise above, manicured greens that roll smooth and true. Crystal Mountain's 2 championship golf courses give you the opportunity to prove you can score lower. For a limited time, spring golf packages start at only $89 a night per person. First-class lodging ranges from easy to extravagant. Elevate your game and plan your spring golf getaway at crystalmountain.com. This is where you belong, in your element.
While we've been staying safe at home,
In 1
scientists have been on
mile,
a
turn
journey
left onto Old Orchard Trail.
of COVID-19 vaccine. This journey began decades ago with research into other coronaviruses. Scientists built from there with months of research and development, cooperation with other experts worldwide, and clinical trials on tens of thousands of volunteers of diverse race, age, and health status. They arrived at a safe, effective vaccine, and hundreds of thousands in Michigan have already been vaccinated. But the next step is ours. We need to get the vaccine when we can, keep wearing masks correctly, and taking precautions until we reach our destination, freedom from COVID-19, and getting back to the lives we love. Discover the facts for yourself at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
There's a lot of streaming services out there, each filled with reality TV, comedy, drama, and of course, superheroes. But there's one dedicated entirely to nonfiction TV and documentary films, and that's Curiosity Stream. History, science, nature, we've got it. Space, dinosaurs, big cats, we got that too. And pretty much anything else you want to explore. Go ahead, add some smart TV to your smart TV with Curiosity Stream. Go to curiositystream.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller, poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber, signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need for that big brake job. Right now, you can save 15% when you buy any Duralast brake pads and any 2 Duralast rotors. It's a great way to save while you take on the full job. Oh, and one tip. Go for a nice, easy drive after you finish the job. It'll help break in your new brakes. For more tips, visit AutoZone.com/DIY. Restrictions apply.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Turn left onto Old Orchard Trail.
Chicago Blackhawks. Pregame Thursday night at 7:15 on News Radio 950 WWJ.
By the way, a little house cleaning note. We were talking about Akil Badu, who did another home run
In
yesterday.
1.7 miles, turn left onto
Whether number
Pontiac
60
Trail.
is an appropriate number for baseball play. Should he switch numbers? And we were wondering when we did our list of numbers who the best number 60 was. It was Bubba Baker. Great for the Detroit Lions.
All right, Badu hasn't passed Bubba yet.
No, doesn't have his own sauce. Bubba's rib sauce is awesome. Anyway, speaking of awesome, here's Heather.
All right, you guys. So authorities arrested about 40 people after protesters and police clashed for a second night in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. So hundreds of protesters actually gathered outside the Brooklyn Center Police Department in defiance of the city's curfew, and they demanded justice for Dante Wright, a 20-year-old black man who was fatally shot by police during a traffic stop. So Wright was pulled over for expired tags on Sunday, and police then tried to arrest him on an outstanding warrant. And after a struggle, one of the officers drew her weapon, and according to the police chief, the officer meant to draw her taser, but she drew her gun by mistake and then fired a single fatal shot. Now, the police chief described the shooting as an accidental discharge, and the officer, a 26-year veteran, has been placed on administrative leave following this fatal shooting.
I mean, I have no idea. Maybe a police officer can listen. An accidental discharge to me would be something where, like, the gun's around and you accidentally, like, step on it or do that. It was not an accidental discharge. It was an accident that she had the wrong weapon.
Right. That's
Which still blows my mind.
Yes, completely.
I don't understand it.
It's negligent. It's murder. It's awful.
Because
I would caution in using terms like murder. Yes, somebody died, but until we've been in that situation, it's very hard to make that judgment. And as we know, we did see the footage. There are always other details that come out. I would caution before we make claims like that. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it is. I just think that there's a lot of information that we don't know, and I've never been in a situation like that. I'm assuming Stoney and Heather and Tom that you've not been in a situation like that, and how we react, how we would, feel for. I shoot all the time. I know what my gun feels like, but I don't know in that situation if I would have that same feel, knowledge, experience.
No, I understand that, but to me, it's I don't want to get a semantical argument.
At the next light, turn
if you
left.
shoot somebody who's defenseless, whether you did it on purpose or not, it's still murder, isn't it? I mean, you're still shooting and killing somebody, so maybe homicide. I don't know what term you want to use, but that's the reason. Maybe murder makes it seem worse, but I don't know how much worse it can be when you have a 20-year-old man
At the light,
killed.
turn left onto Pontiac Trail.
Right, an unarmed man who, yes, he did struggle with the police and try to get back in his car, but there was 3 police officers there. To me, it's hard for me to watch that and see why the taser was even pulled. And it wasn't like she whipped out this taser and tased him instantly. She pulled out her gun and then held it out in front of her for several seconds at least to realize. She kept saying, "I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you, I have a
At
taser."
the next light,
for her
turn
to
right.
at least maybe acknowledge that, oh my gosh, I'm holding a gun and not a taser. I've never held a taser, but I would imagine that you hold a taser differently than you hold a firearm.
It all depends on the taser, because I've held a number of them. Some are shaped exactly like a gun.
Oh, really?
And you would pull the trigger just like you would pull the trigger on a gun. And so something went unbelievably wrong. And a lot of that needs to be sorted out by those that were
At the
there
light,
and those that
use the
invested.
right lane to turn onto Orchard Lake Road.
Devastating for sure. So there was a shooting at a Knoxville, Tennessee high school yesterday that left one student dead and an officer injured. So on Monday, police were actually notified of a possible individual who was at the school with a weapon, and police found the student in a
Turn
bathroom
right.
at the high school, and they ordered him to come out, but he wouldn't comply, and that's when he reportedly fired his gun, and police then fired back. The student died
Proceed
at
to the
school,
route.
and the officer was wounded.
Turn
and
right
taken
onto
into
Orchard Lake
surgery.
Road.
Nobody else was hurt.
3.3 miles,
Obviously,
turn
this
left onto
investigation
Northwestern
is
Highway.
ongoing, and at the time, it's not clear right now if the student was planning to use the gun inside the school, because he didn't fire any shots until after the confrontation with the officers. The school will be closed today and Friday, and they will be offering counseling. And it sounds like this school it just had such a rough run. It said this is the 5th fatality surrounding this high school in the last few months.
Oh my lord.
So, just another devastating situation. Former Kansas City Chiefs assistant coach Britt Reed has been charged with felony DWI for his involvement in the car crash earlier this year that left that little 5-year-old girl critically injured. Court records show that Reed had a blood alcohol content of 0.113 after the crash, and he was also traveling at a speed of nearly 84 miles per hour just seconds before he slammed into the two vehicles. So if he is convicted, he faces up to 7 years in prison.
7 years for something like that. See, but it's the guideline, so that seems a little light to me. But because when you have other, offenses that are like, I don't know, drugs and things like that, where people go to jail for longer than that, it just seems kind of weird to me. That's just me. It seems a little light.
All right, so rumors were swirling around online that Usher was actually busted for tossing out fake money during a recent trip to a strip club in Vegas, okay? So social media was just in this frenzy because there was photos of these Ush bucks, okay? These Usher bucks. They had a picture of Usher's face on them. Well, they were going viral online. According to one of the dancers at the club, Usher threw out these Ush bucks instead of real cash. But it seems that this could be a little bit of fake news because the Sapphire in Vegas says that Usher was a true gentleman and a great guest at the club, and they say that he and his crew converted thousands of real dollars to tip the girls and left generous tips for the staff as well. But apparently somebody on his team was leaving these Ush bucks all over the floor to promote his Vegas residency. So I don't know for sure if he was actually, tossing these Usher dollars at the women as they danced, or if they just kind of threw them around on the ground to kind of promote their residency. But either way, it sounds like they did use real money as well.
Tossed or
Yeah.
placed.
Yeah, yes. All right, so after canceling last year's celebration, Traverse City is actually bringing back its National Cherry Festival this July. So we are seeing some things come back this year. So the festival will run from July 3rd to the 10th, and they are going to offer some virtual events to replace some in-person things, but they are going to have other socially distanced celebrations. So unfortunately, the air show and the concert will be canceled, but they say details on other events like the parade and fireworks are still unknown. The one thing that is a guarantee is the Ultimate Air Dogs. They are ready to come back. Now, have you ever seen this?
Oh, yes.
These Ultimate Air Dogs that they run and they leap into this big pool of water. It's fabulous.
It's amazing. And a lot of them are trained hunting dogs, right? And they measure how far they leap.
Yeah.
And they throw a little duck boy out there.
Exactly.
They are unbelievable athletes, and it looks like they are flying.
I'm so glad we called them athletes. I really am, because I get a lot of crap when I say the Secretariat is one of the great athletes of all time.
Oh my goodness. I mean, just yes, animals can be athletes. Actually, most animals are great athletes.
In 1 mile,
By the way,
turn left onto Northwestern Highway.
Tons of these dogs, basically. Loves them.
So cool. Anyway, more details and plans will be released soon. So it's exciting to see some things coming back either way. All right, so finally, there's a website that just found the laziest days of last year based on Google searches. So people were searching things like no desire to work or no motivation to work. And the laziest day of 2020 was today, April 13th. So if you're feeling extra lazy today, it seems like it's okay because it was super lazy last year. They do say last year, however, it was a Monday after Easter, so that could have something to do with it. But either way, most of the laziest days last year were Mondays, so makes sense, I guess.
So a week from today is 420. That would be for a lot of
That
people.
would definitely be a lazy day,
Absolutely. All right, thank you, Heather. Steve Eisman will join us at 8 o'clock. Coming up next, 3 of us did the exact same thing over the weekend without knowing it, and we didn't like it. 97.1.
This hour's ticket signing bonus keyword is happy. Text happy to 72881 for your chance at $1,000.
Sometimes in business, the unexpected comes calling. From rent increases, to increased orders, to, I'm gonna say it, unprecedented times. But don't bounce back. Bounce forward with Comcast Business. Bounce forward with fast, reliable internet on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses and gives you the flexibility to update your bandwidth in just a few clicks. Be fast, be flexible, be ready for what's next, and bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with this amazing offer. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution from Comcast Business. Starting at just $35 each month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go to ComcastBusiness.com today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megas per second internet and wireless mobility customers. Earn information fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Call for details.
Go past this light, then use the left 3 lanes to turn onto Northwestern Highway.
Odds. Hey, there's downtown Vegas, the original gambling and entertainment mecca. That's where you'll find the D Las Vegas. Book your stay today at thed.com. The D Las Vegas, your home for
Turn left
in Vegas.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, downsizing, or looking for an investment property, Hall Financial will put you in the best financial position possible. We'll get you pre-approved same day, giving you the confidence to take on the housing market and win.
Turn right onto Inkster Road.
With a top realtor in your area. Visit DavidHallMortgage.com and let us give you the 5-star service you deserve. That's DavidHallMortgage.com.
Hall Financial, NMLS ID 1467435, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention, Michigan. Do you really want a new car? But your credit's not so good. But you still owe money on your trade. But you can't afford a large down payment.
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
So the Land Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will give you up to 125% of Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-ins or the purchase of a new vehicle. That's right, 125% of KBB for your trade. Got that credit? Don't sweat it. Our lenders get it. If you have $500 down and you make at least $2,000 a month, Lalandi's leading lenders can get you approved. So if you really want that new Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram, but your credit's not so good, but you still owe money on your trade, but you still can't afford a large down payment, it's time to bring your funds to Lalandi Land Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today in beautiful LA City, Michigan. Call 810-724-0444 or click LalandiChrysler.com. That's free for the purchase of $3,000 loan. Subject to lender approval. Expires Sunset.
Introducing Fidelity Income Planning. We look at how much you've saved, how much you'll need, and help you build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you the chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts. Plus, you can start, stop, or adjust your plan at any time. Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, number NYSE SIPC.
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls, but did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase. Gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
rounds by the 7, 8, 9 hitters. That would be Nunez, Griner, and Badu. Each of those guys, by the way,
At the light, turn right onto Inkster Road.
bottom of the lot corner. Doing a nice job. Matthew Boyd on the hill tonight for the Detroit Tigers right here on 97.1. We'll take it. Now, what we do off the air here when we get prepared for a radio show,
Stay in the left lane.
We send emails with story suggestions and links to articles that we think we might want to talk about.
In 5.4 miles arrive at W7 Mile Road and Inkster Road.
Up with the rundown, and we go from there. Sometimes we ad lib a little bit, sometimes we go on what exactly is there. But I put in my rundown on Sunday that Cindy and I watched a movie, not by my choice, on Netflix. Anyway, whatever it was. It was not very good. John saw the email and said, "Oh my God, we saw the same movie and I couldn't watch it any longer."
I guess, again, not by my choice.
And Heather, probably by her choice, watched the exact same movie and hated it as well. And we're talking about Thunder Force. Thunder Force starring Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer. So, my wife goes, "How bad can it be? Melissa McCarthy's in it. She's funny." I said, yeah, she is funny. Well, it could be really bad. Because there were a couple things that get chuckled at, because she is
What was that?
funny. There was stuff when she played when she was a young character, or she made a smart-ass comment or whatever. So that was got a couple chuckles. But man, who sits there and says, "God, this is..." Should we just stop this now?
Yeah. Should we just throw this one in the trash can and start with something different?
My Lord, and I'm sure it was at the theaters too. I think. I don't know. Obviously, King Kong versus Godzilla was the big one over the weekend. But God, that was an awful movie. So we're thinking, what's the worst movie you ever saw? And you walk out, if you're in a theater, you walk out at home, it's a lot easier. But I stuck with it because I'm a good husband. And she had to go in the other room and say, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe there's a payoff here somewhere." And there was really, although I'm not even going to give you a spoiler alert because I'm telling you, the spoiler is don't watch the movie. But there was one of the members of the company that Octavia Spencer owned and was trying to stop these evil people called miscreants. This other woman, my wife figured out early on that she was actually part of the bad people. She was.
Well, that was kind of I thought that was kind of a given. You could see the double agent, the inside, individual in that person.
Well, you and Cindy are obviously smarter than I am. All right, so 248-539-97. What's the worst movie you ever saw that you can remember seeing? I used to there was this one, I always screwed up. Is it Lava Boy and Shark Girl, or Lava Girl and Shark Boy, whatever? But that was more for kids. I sat in the theater with my kids. Yeah, that was really good. But there is one that was made by somebody who I really like. That is definitely the worst movie I ever saw, and that was called Jack and Jill with Adam Sandler, where he played himself. Basically, he played him and his character's, twin sister. And it was this convoluted scheme to get Al Pacino to do stuff, and it was just awful. So they go, "Adam Sandler, you're a funny. What are you doing?" And that was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Is that? I mean, there's a kind of a trend there as well, and I agree with you that it was terrible because if you're watching Thunder Force, you're thinking Melissa McCarthy, I'm going to laugh. Even if the movie has no plot, there are things that she says or the way that she says them that are funny.
Yeah.
I didn't find any of those. And it's the same with Adam Sandler. When you watch an Adam Sandler movie, now I know he's tried to change kind of his typecast to be a little bit more serious, but you still think, because of the movies that you've seen him in, that at some point you are going to have a laugh, and that's the buy-in. And when you don't get it, whether it's Jack and Jill or Thunder Force, the movie just it compounds itself that it's that much worse.
I'm sure there was a couple laughs in Jack and Jill. The whole overall was just so horrific. What What's the worst movie you remember
Worst
seeing?
one I remember ever seeing, and I've never walked out of a movie. I have this ability to just fall asleep, and I take a nap through the rest of the movie. So I've slept through a number of kid movies. I've slept through a number of other ones, but the one that I remember when I thought of this topic and I said, "What's the worst movie I've ever seen?" I have to go back to it's a while ago now. Waterworld with Kevin Costner. The concept of it was to me, especially at the time, was very unique, and I thought this would be interesting, right? The all of the ice caps, all of the poles, all thaw, and the world is covered in water. They're trying to find land, and it was the absolute worst movie. There was no intrigue. The plot was poorly developed. There was no plot. It was awful.
248-539-9797. Heather, what about for you?
The only one I think of is because my mom and I still joke about it. We went and saw it. This was back when I was in high school. Cabin Fever. Okay, it was just awful. They redid it too, which I don't know why. They redid it again in like 2018 or sometime, but it was just awful. These like college kids go to this cabin in the woods and they all contracted this like flesh-eating disease. It was just awful. It's just awful. But we sat through it all at the theater when it was out. We still kind of joke about it because it was just so bad. So bad.
I think Home Alone 3 and 4 are god awful. I mean, he's not even in it, Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, sequels.
They changed. Yeah.
Rocky 5. Rocky 5. Oh my goodness. Tommy Morrison.
Oh, that was bad.
That one to me is, I just like the string of movies, so I can accept that it wasn't as good as any of the others, but I still watched it. It was all right.
I think it's something you guys are hitting on here, though. For me, comedies are very touch and go for me.
They're subjective. It's all comedies.
I just don't think that a lot of times they're as funny as they think they are. Like personally, The Hangover, I think is extremely overrated.
You and Gator, I thought The Hangover, the first one, was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
oh, absolutely.
Hilarious.
Why would you?
And
How
even the
could you not
sequels were
like it?
all right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it wasn't good. I'm just saying that, I would never put The Hangover ahead of Step Brothers. I enjoy Step Brothers far more.
Step Brothers was great.
Step
But
Brothers.
some people think Talladega Nights and Anchorman are way better than Step Brothers, and I don't. I think Anchorman is overrated.
I tend to agree with you. Well, Anchorman 2 was awful.
Anchorman 2 was bad, but Anchorman was funny.
It was funny. I'm just saying again, I would choose Step Brothers. Napoleon Dynamite I thought was overrated, but I get the appeal.
Well, they get funnier the more you watch them. I think, because I saw one of those Anchorman in the theater. I'm like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever sat through. And then I watched it again. I'm like, this is great.
You had the
It's so
opposite reaction. The opposite. That's why it's so subjective.
There are some good movies that people are considered good that I think are awful.
Would you ever do that to a set of drums, John?
Oh.
If I could do that,
The funny part. I watched that movie when it came out. I believe it was with, because I was still with the Washington football team at the time.
In 1 mile,
I watched that one
arrive
with
at
Mark Bennell and
W7
Ethan
Mile Road
Albright.
at Inkster Road.
And I don't know that I have laughed as hard during that scene because there are just things that happen, between teammates and friends that are just absolutely hilarious. And that was one of them. That's why when you said Step Brothers, my mind instantly goes to that one scene with the drums, and it's like, this, my goodness.
yes, yeah, and it's like to me it was a realistic comedy because that is what happens between guys and siblings and stuff.
No doubt.
If I could go to a fictitious event, it'd be the blinking kettle to the white.
248-539-9797. We got tons of texts. We'll get to them coming up next. 97 on the tip.
Hey, home buying season is heating up, and the local mortgage solution is at Level 1 Bank. John Jansen here, and I love the wide variety of loan programs Level 1 Bank provides, including all standard loans, first-time home buyers, purchase or refi, single close construction and renovation loans, even doctor loans. I like that Level 1 Bank took the time to get to know me. They understood my needs, and they tailored a solution that was right exactly for my situation. They provide frequent communication and updates throughout the entire process, and you can even apply and get a pre-approved mortgage online. It couldn't be any simpler. Like I said, that's why I got my mortgage at Level One Bank, and they will do the exact same thing for you. You can trust the local mortgage experts at Level One Bank. For more information, go to level1bank.com/John Jansen Mortgage. That's level1bank.com/John Jansen Mortgage. Level One
At the
Bank
stop
is a
sign,
member of the
turn right
FDIC
onto
and an
Seminole
equal
Street,
housing
then
lender.
turn right onto West 7 Mile.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Henry Ford College. Traffic is still heavy as you make your way into the work zone along I-75, southbound near 12 Mile and northbound between Kniff and the Davison. Looking for a career-focused education in 2 years or less? At Henry Ford College, their 1-year and 2-year programs get you ready for big things. They also offer 4-year options like culinary school and dozens of transfer programs. Get ready for your future at Henry Ford College. Visit hfcc.edu. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.